What's up, friends? John here with Go Health Yourself. I don't know what happened. I'm only a minute late, but I tried to connect to the live stream and it said it wasn't available, that's the first time that's happened to me. Just want to talk a little bit about the inner voice today and being overwhelmed and things like that. I don't know, I found myself Uh, the first time in a long time, I found myself a little overwhelmed last night for some reason, and I think I was thinking about having to, rely on people, which is something that, of course, if you have a spinal cord injury, if you're a quadriplegic, you have to rely on people for some things. But I don't know. I was thinking about it, and I felt a little overwhelmed. And then this morning, I had um, not my normal. Person, my PCA, helped me this morning. So maybe that was part of it. And so the day was kind of messed up a little bit. But tell you what, as soon as I did that workout, everything changed. I felt much better. Workouts are so important for your mental health. I can't say it enough. It's super important to work out if you're doing. I mean, it doesn't have to be lifting. If it's walking, running, um, swimming, anything. If you can get physically active, it's definitely beneficial for your mental health and your mood state. So, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Feel free to comment and ask me any questions. I forgot to mention um, last stream. I was talking about like community and how we're really lucky to have YouTube, especially if you're dealing with a problem. You could just go on YouTube University and look them up. It's pretty amazing that if you need to learn something, you could just go on there and learn. I mean, it's an amazing time we live in right now. But besides that, I talked about a few channels that help with spinal cord injuries, and there's one channel I didn't mention was Chris Caldwell. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore, but he had some of the most informative content, and he's like one of the first quadriplegics I've seen like really document his life. It was pretty in depth, the stuff that he went through, and unfortunately, he had some really good stuff. He moved to Dubai, which is pretty cool, and unfortunately, a lot of uh, his stuff was deleted. I'm not sure if he did that, but he had so many cool videos, especially when he went to Dubai. He had some really cool stuff. He got into the racing drones and got really good at it. The way that he designed the controller was pretty amazing with no hand function. He kind of like cut like pretty thin PCV tubing and put it on top of the toggles of the remote control and stuck his fingers in there and was able to control the remote like that. And he got pretty good. He got really good at flying those drones. Some amazing stuff. So another example that if you put your mind to something, you can um, pretty much do anything. Um, Yeah, and then I wanted to talk about the inner voice. It's interesting how we have that negative inner voice that tells us we're not good enough. It's always there. It's got the whisper, um, and you can find a way to use that voice for a drive to push yourself. And every now and then, though, it seems like it can get to you. And I definitely have that inner voice that it tells me I'm not good enough, that you're a loser and stuff like that. And I know that people have more of that inner voice that's much worse. So it's another thing, working out and creating and doing things like that can really help suppress that inner voice. And I heard a really good uh, I forgot which podcast it was, but someone was talking about making friends with that dark voice, which I think that is like what David Goggins has done, has really used that voice to excel, which is some pretty amazing stuff. But and I think it has a big that negative inner voice. It's kind of like how they depict the angel and the devil. You know, the angel's telling you to do this, which is the good thing, and the devil's telling you to do the other thing, which is the bad thing, or telling you're not good enough and stuff. But I think that has a huge impact on confidence. Like if you're not super confident, which I wouldn't consider myself like super confident, which I'm trying to get better at, but definitely have a little bit of confidence. But think that's a big reason why I don't have like extreme confidence, which is something I admire. Like I think it's something that really helps you in life. I'm not talking about like a crazy ego because a big ego that's detrimental can be you could be a complete asshole and people won't like you. But real, true, like confidence where you're driven and you're out there to really help other people. That's something that's definitely important to strive for or have. So, yeah, and I wanted to talk about the winter coming up. If anyone, I don't know why no one's chatted yet or asked questions in the chat. I don't know if it's messed up or what's going on, but I hope it's not. But winter's coming up, so I wanted to know if anyone that has a spinal cord injury does anything in the winter, like sports related. I know they have like the mono ski thing, which is pretty cool, which I want to try, but I I really honestly hate the cold, but something that I might try in the future. Um, I have a real good friend, Carl, that is really into snowboarding. I did snowboarding a little bit before I got injured, but nowhere is near as good as him. Every winter, he would fly out to, let's see, Baker, Big Mount Big. I don't know. I can't even remember the bacon, the now name of the mountain. But he used to fly out to Washington for the whole winter and snowboard there. So that's pretty cool. And then I live near a lake, and they do ice fishing, which something I've never done, but something that seems pretty cool. A lot of people do it during the winter over here. So yeah, I went on. Just looking at my talking points here. So I went on the trail the other day, or was it yesterday? Yesterday, which it was like 90 something degrees here. So it was definitely hot. But once you get in the woods and there's shade, it's much easier to withstand the heat. But there's the East Coast Greenway, it's called. It runs through Connecticut here, and eventually it's going to run from Maine to Florida, which is pretty amazing. It's also called Rails to Trails. It's an old railway that they turned into a path, like a walking and biking path. So that's really fun to go on. And luckily, I've got the Smart Drive on my chair, and that helps a lot. If you don't know what a smart drive, it's like this removable motor that you can put on a manual chair, and that thing has been a blessing for sure. I plan on making a video on the smart drive because it's so cool. It's one of the coolest inventions I've ever seen on a wheelchair. And going back to discipline, I also wanted to mention a really cool podcast I saw a couple days ago with Jocko podcast with one of the Great Seeds, and they're the ones that created Great Seed Jiu-Jitsu or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that's some amazing stuff. They've like dominated the martial arts space with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it's a lot of groundwork and stuff like that. And he was talking about discipline, and it's amazing the discipline you can get from martial arts. I've seen a lot of people that practice martial arts are very disciplined individuals, and I think that's what I'm striving to be, is a very disciplined person. I think that in my book that's something important. So and then he was actually talking about they have a program for police officers too, as you know that sometimes police officers can have excessive force on people, and they kind of go into panic mode and they just rely on their training, and someone can either get accidentally killed or something like that. So they have the Great Seas have a program for the police officers, and when they actually practice Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, it's amazing. Um, it's amazing how less of injuries there are on civilians and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically what I wanted to talk about today. I didn't have a bunch of talking points. I definitely got to start writing a little earlier. I give myself about an hour to write in what I want to talk about. But yeah, confidence, discipline, mental health. It's something that if you're not happy in life, you can strive for. And again, you can go on YouTube and find out so much information. It's really cool. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I don't know if anyone asked any questions or anything like that because there's nothing in the chat. I don't know. It doesn't look familiar to me, so I don't know what's going on. But thank you for watching. And as always, friends, stay strong, stay active, stay creative, and go help yourself. Over and out.